And we are back, guys. Exactly as we promised, 15 minutes. But yeah, the fifth round is
The last one, the sixth round, actually.
yeah, the fifth round has concluded.
Yeah,
so we have
yeah.
the sixth round now. There is, I think, one or two tables that are allowed to draw.
Yeah.
And the rest has to play.
Yes,
And we have a beautiful matchup
This
here.
is a very, very nice matchup, I think. We have Julius Pehlgrimm, which is on the bottom, hopefully. Otherwise, we have to switch it. Anyways, he's playing a Turbo Doomsday list. Pretty much a standard list, actually. And I'm always interested in someone who is playing Doomsday, of course. But his play is facing Juda Frantisek on the top here, and he's playing a very, very beautiful list, I think. We have a Jeskai control list that is actually featuring one of the newest unfunny cards.
You mean a stellar card?
A stellar card. It is Comet Stellar Pup. We have talked about this, I think, in the podcast already sometime, I think.
I think it's a long time ago.
No, it is the last time that we talked about this, yeah. And I think this card is a very interesting one because, I mean, it has a kind of an random factor to it. It's a 4-mana planeswalker that enters the battlefield with 5 loyalties, and for 0 you can roll a 6-sided dice, and for each different result you get a different kind of effect.
At 1 or 2 you gain 2 1/1 Skrill tokens with haste.
Yeah.
At 3 I think you get to
return a
mill or just return a CMC2 card from your graveyard to your hand. At 4 and 5
CMC 2 or less, so you can return any land or whatever.
And 4 and 5 you deal damage equal to its loyalty to any target, and then it does -2.
It's creature or player.
Creature or player,
so
okay.
no planeswalker.
And at 6 you just roll twice.
You re-roll twice again.
And gain 1 loyalty.
And gain 1 loyalty, yeah. So
and it starts at 5.
Yeah. So at worst case, on an empty board, it is actually deal 5 damage to the face.
Or get a land back.
Yeah.
Which is also okay. But the randomness is the thing that makes this card a little bit fringy, but nevertheless it does some spectacular things.
Very much so.
And hopefully we will see it here. Is this a dress?
Yes.
Okay, it's a dress.
Immediately grabs the points
Force
towards the force, yeah. Makes sense. Obviously, most likely he will.
Do we see here Dark Rid or
Doomsday? Probably.
Most likely. Yeah.
Nice and easy. Let's have a look if he can complete the pile.
Yeah, will be for sure a pile for next turn. But what are the cards that I think we can focus now on the cards that Juda can draw that will allow him to win the game? Is there a wasteland in there?
Let's have a look.
I don't think so.
No, there's no wasteland.
Okay, there is no cards basically that he can draw. Maybe a Spell Pierce or another Force. Spell Pierce or Force are the cards, but I think you can play around it. Dress Down. Dress Down is the one card that can.
Dress Down, yes. Dress Down would be a good draw.
I think it is. Is it the only win condition now?
Well, if we assume that the Doomsday player is building a pile that wins next turn, then yes, I think this is the only card. I mean, you could go for like Brainstorm into Force of Will, something like this, but I'm sure Julius is able to play around at least a counter spell.
I think you play around counter spells.
Yeah, he can stack up
because he has like Street Raves. It will be most likely something like Street Raving into like Cavern of Souls and Fuss or something like that.
Probably
with one cast in between.
Probably he will go for, well, LED might be a good mix in there. I think Deep Analysis would also work. Depends on if he has another cantrip or not.
But then you play into the counter spells, am I right?
True. Absolutely. He can also just go for
I
the
think
Street
I would
Waves
play
and
the
some
safe
Cyclops.
play. Yeah. Street Waves and Cavern of Souls, Thassa's Oracle. And that's enough.
Yeah.
Would be I think my thing how I would do it. But you can fear maybe a wasteland here. Then you have to be careful with your mana sources.
Yeah, I think at this point when you go for a quick Doomsday, you just play into the wasteland.
Yeah.
I mean, you're seeing from the duress that this is clearly a control deck. I mean, a lot of control decks do play some wastelands, but it is not very typical.
Not with Shark Typhoon. Normally Shark Typhoon decks most of the time, and in this case for Wasteland, they are more likely to have cards like Heliod's Chamber or something like that, which is the new card that reanimates enchantments. So I would put him a little bit more into the bracket of this is an standstill list.
Could be the case,
would be my case.
Could be
because
the case,
each of those cards are standstill cards. You would play Snapcaster Mage. You would play the White Removes. You would play the Shark Typhoon. So I, for my side, would put him on Shark Typhoon after the duress, which would implicate no Wasteland.
Yeah.
But I mean, they can play one Wasteland or something like that to deal with opposing Urza Saga, but it wouldn't be the card that I would worry about most. I think we saw a deep analysis.
Forces.
Yeah, which is always important.
Obviously,
Two forces.
You want to check the forces in the piles.
Yeah, and he has 1 days.
Should but
Three
just
forces.
be like 2 Street Waves, 1 Edge of Outcome, 1. Well, he needs another cantrip, of course, because he draws 1 card next turn, and he can only cycle into either the lands or the Thassa's Oracle.
So it would be a pass twice.
Yeah,
turn.
actually, and I'm not sure if this is the pile he will.
I would
gone for
also
it.
didn't want to pass twice. So
I'm pretty sure he has managed to get the pile. Yeah, he has Brainstorm in hand. Is this like in his upkeep? Yeah, I think so. Or in his draw step.
in his main phase.
Main phase. Okay.
So 1 card left. Put 2 cards back.
So probably Lions of Diamonds and Cycler, something like this, pretty much.
Okay, he passed the turn.
Okay, interesting.
So could be a duress line.
Probably.
So with 3 cards now unknown, it's a little bit different now for Julius to play.
Cycle Street Wave, okay.
Draw a card. Cycle Street Drive, draw a card. Sure.
Edge of Autumn, okay. 1
Float
mana
a mana.
Flaudon. Yeah.
Should be black. So it was basically the...
No, it's just Cavern of Souls, okay, and white, blue.
And he has it?
Does he have the dress down?
Yeah.
Oh, he found it. And he has a force.
Okay. No force back.
No force backup, okay.
It would be insane if you lose from this standpoint on. But there are 3 dressed on in the main
But
deck.
I'm not sure, did he just, because he didn't pitch any card to the force, did he just show it like, okay, I had the force but no pitch card, or did he actually cast the force? I'm not sure about this.
Julius.
Yes.
Julius had for sure a pitch card, I think.
Well, I wasn't sure. I didn't see any.
But I think that... Yeah. Maybe he tricked his opponent into conceding. No, I think there was a blue card there.
Well, yeah.
Depends.
So he just went for a kind of standard land with a cycler and extra counter magic. Of course.
Maybe there was another blue card in there. No, there was 3 cycler and the cavern and the
No, I
Thassa.
think it was just the edge and 1 street wave. It was just 2 cyclers.
Yeah, just 2 cycler.
Yeah.
So maybe he got in another blue card for the Force of Will. Or even
Yeah.
the Force of Will.
Yeah. So the cavern, the Thassa, the 2 cyclers, and
Should be the Force of Will because he used the Brainstorm.
yeah.
Yeah.
The force of will, yeah.
Just to have the protection up. Because he analyzed what are the cards that I lose to, and he apparently came to the same conclusion.
Yeah.
It was something like dress down.
Okay.
Or even if... I mean, it should have been dress down because there was no other cards in there.
So what do we have in the sideboard? I think when we have a look at the control deck, Flusterstorm certainly looks interesting.
Do you want the Ethos one?
The Ether Sworn, well, I'm not really a huge fan against
It
Doomsday.
makes your counter spell so much better than his. That's the thing that I like the Ethos one Canonist, because
well, both have counter spells.
yeah, but the first counter spell
Yeah,
is now good.
because
Because-
Doomsday is the proactive player. Yeah.
Yeah.
This makes sense, of course, but generally when
It's not the best card,
Yeah.
but it's something that I would may play. And I think you can board in like 3 or 4 blue blasts,
Sure.
red blasts.
yeah, they're the red blast. Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of black cards that are relevant in this matchup, but you have to stop the cantrips. You have
Yeah.
to stop something like, how's it called, like the personal toot and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And on the side of Julius, we
Oh,
have to-
it's actually the wrong range. Is it the correct name?
wait,
It's actually Johannes, right?
it's Johannes Julius Pehlgrimm.
Okay.
I will exclusively use his second name.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Just had a glimpse at the deck list. Okay, let's have a look at the deck list.
The I have to first adjust left one.
So
Okay. We have in the sideboard 4 Force of Negation, a Brazen Borer, a Chain of Vapor, Duress, 2 Leyline of the Void, 2 Sheldred, 2 Opposition
Oh.
Agent, 1 Torment Script, 1 Relic of Progenitus.
I
We
love-
are looking at Sheldred.
Sheldred, yes, I love this card. I have been playing this card as well, and it's actually really nice. It is
Do we look at Leyline? No.
no, Leyline doesn't
Leyline.
make sense.
Maybe the Duress.
The rest and also
Sheldred, a
the
Duress,
forces.
Force of Negation.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really want to stop your opponent. You want to resolve your own stuff, am I right?
True, yeah, but there is counter wars, of course. Or you
But I
You
don't
might
think that you want to be in on the counter on your opponent's side, am I right? Because
it depends on which cards you can bring in, but I think like from an isolated perspective, these are the better cards that you have
Yeah.
in your sideboards. It depends, of course, what you want to bring out. If you want to be still on the completely turbo side,
yeah.
or
Or
because
is there a
personal
spot
tutor-
where you bought out all of your 4 personal tutors?
personal tutors can be really bad at times, but
Especially in this as it's a -1, am I right?
it's a -1, and especially against like wasteland decks. But this is not the case for this matchup. So maybe he will shave some, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
May-
it will be interesting.
Maybe the rituals, because this deck plays a dark ritual and extra copies of Cabal ritual.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we need all 6 copies of
Maybe
of
brought
ritual.
down the Cabal ritual.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of shaving.
I mean, with rituals, I like the Sheldred a lot more
Mm-hmm.
because you
Yeah.
are way
That's
more
true.
likely to accelerate it out on turn 2 or 3.
True.
So yeah, will be interesting. Will be interesting. So we want to just shout out Matt Flacco and Relic 21 for following the channel. Thank you very much, guys and girls. If you have any questions regarding anything you want, just hit the chat and talk to us.
So the second game has started.
Second game has started. We
Okay.
have land go.
So in fact, the Doomsday player actually won, yes. Very
Yeah.
much. It is now confirmed because Juda is now playing first.
Yeah.
What do we have? An Canonist. So indeed he brought in them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense what he said. That now anything, because the Doomsday player has to be proactive. Basically, all counter spells are really
It's in fact nearly a small Teferi.
opposition agent.
I wouldn't have thought of boarding it in, actually.
Well, it's a threat. It is a threat
Yeah.
to this.
And it resolved. That's a beating.
That's a beating. Maybe there is still some removal spells for the Jeskai deck.
Duress.
Yes.
Where is the coverage match being played? Okay. This is a portable setup that we actually have here. It's a setup that we took from one of our players, Dominic, from our LGS. and he boarded us, and we will make and equip it on our own in the near future. Um, so it's just a table that was set at the side, and yeah, we put in some portable setup onto it.
Mhm.
And yeah, here we have a dress. We have Swords of Plowshares, Teferi, Surgical Extraction, and Shark Typhoon. So yeah. Metagame Breakdown unfortunately is not available, but we may get some information on how many percent our Delver players today. Because I believe it should be around 40% or
Really?
something like
Okay.
that, or at least 30 to 40% for
Yeah.
sure is Blue Red Delver here,
What do we have here?
but it's only 9%.
the sword. Okay. Yeah, he wants to make sure that the position agent is staying on the board a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Just before, but maybe he will just play at the ferry now and bounce it back to the hand.
Yeah, but that implies that he has a non-fetch land.
Yeah, of course.
So, will be interesting how it shapes up, because it's a little bit harder. Something that he may do here, if it isn't a land drop, is like cycling main phase Shark Typhoon for another card to get the land drop,
Yeah, he needs more lands. Yeah.
because like in those matchups,
Okay. It doesn't go for it.
I think I would go for the Shark Typhoon. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of Minskaboo at a meta game. Yeah.
You wouldn't be alone here.
Yeah. All the hamsters.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
like Hamster Murktide regions.
Yeah.
The only cards that are played.
This is another discard spell. Okay. He
Another
has a
duress.
force. Okay.
Okay,
Interesting.
I still think I would have cycled it for another land. I mean, you are now having like
I'm thinking if I would force it to protect the fairy, the counter spell. But I'm
No.
not sure.
it wouldn't protect the fairy, because you can't play anything afterwards because of your own.
You would have been able to now, right?
But you can't play the Force of Will after the Teferi.
No. He cast a counter spell, and I was wondering if I would have force fulfilled the discard spell.
Okay. Yeah.
So in order to protect my Teferi.
Yeah, I don't think so, because you are like behind the mana, behind on the board. It's a really difficult situation for Juda to be in. But if it goes like for 1 or 2 turns, something that as small as it is, the 1/1 flyer can go a huge way.
Yeah, sometimes yes. It's
And-
probably the best bet right now.
Yeah. Because you need the mana advantage, you may draw into something like a Teferi and stuff like that. And you still have the surgical for something. But it depends. I mean, Dark Ritual are dead cards now. That's a good-
Not really dead. I wouldn't go as that far because there's probably some shield rats in the deck.
Yeah.
And
But you can't cast Shield Red off of Dark Ritual with the...
yeah. Sure. That's what you meant. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Another spell, Niska spell. Okay.
Okay. So we saw
You
triple
see a
duress.
cycle, yeah. Yeah.
It's good in this matchup, it's good.
The discard spells.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think after Blue Red Delver, 4 color control or 5 color control is the biggest archetype here.
Yeah, there's a lot of control decks.
We have even 5 color Yorion control with Leyline Binding.
Mm-hmm. This is the Ancient Pile, right?
I don't know if
I think
it's
so.
the anti-pile, it plays 1 Underground Sea and stuff
Okay.
like that. But apparently Niklas Holtman is known for playing such bullshit piles.
Yeah. But also Dominic of ours is playing this deck.
Yeah, coverage is unfortunately currently only done for Legacy. But yeah, we can talk to the 3-for-1 guys that there is dire need for some coverage for
Sure.
the modern event too, because I'm only known for, or I only know Legacy, because I'm very out of modern. For me, Blue Red Gift Storm is still a good deck, but apparently it's not.
A long time ago, actually.
Long time ago, but we yeah, we have another land here for the side of Julius or Johannes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are one or two extra time callers each round, so it's okay. What was it another personal tutor?
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah, we currently
But we couldn't see the card.
we couldn't see the card. Yeah,
Okay. It was
Or
a
a
ponder.
ponder,
It
yeah.
was a ponder, just a simple ponder.
and unfortunately the camera is a little bit depositioned. Normally we would see a little bit more on the side of Johannes. But yeah, I think we see enough to know where this match is going to.
Yeah. He's attacking with the opposition agent right now.
Yeah.
Will you see? Probably you never want to block. You really want? Okay.
Okay.
Interesting. Maybe he's valuing his fetch land even more. At this point, I can see that. There comes the Doomsday.
Yeah.
The Shield Red. It is a Shield Red. Nice. This is a very nice cut.
And now, what are your answers? Do you still have swords to plowshares in there? I think you have to keep your swords. And I think I would have fetched, because if now the second opposition agent comes down with your fetches up, I would cry.
I think, well, normally swords is not really good card.
Is this a value fusser? It's a value fusser.
Normally, swords is not really a good card against Doomsday.
Yeah, but you expect the opposition agent.
Not not necessarily.
No, okay.
Um,
But what are some cards that you wanted to board out, for example?
I would definitely at least shave swords.
Yeah.
I don't think you want 4.
Shave swords and get rid of the endings. Am I right?
Ending does also not look very good. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
endings of course go out before the swords, because swords can potentially.
Get you with a incomplete pile.
Yeah, but usually this is not the case for
Yeah.
a good Doomsday pile.
Okay, down to 11. Sheldred. It's so minor, but
It's,
it does so much.
It is a very big clock. Yeah.
Now you sorted. And the question is, I think you don't want to exile anything here with surgical.
Yeah, I don't think that's well at this point, since
Is it that
no, I think he's just holding it in his hand.
Yeah.
There is Doomsday. And now Julius needs to keep in mind the surgical, of course, because it can mess up the pile. He can
Yeah.
surgical the Doomsday after the pile has been created and create a random shuffle of the deck.
Yeah, the problem is now that you have like already two blue mana symbols out there because
Yeah.
of the first Thassa's Oracle.
And anyways, you could just make a pile when where you're just naturally passing a few turns, because your opponent has just the surgical and the 1/1. So you wouldn't mind if the pile gets shuffled actually.
There is one thing that can happen here. Because
Address down.
Matos said, like, if he kills Oracle, then use a surgical. He can play
True, yeah.
the Stellar Pup.
True.
Roll the damage to
Yeah.
kill off the Thassa's Oracle.
Yeah.
And then surgical it.
True, yeah.
If this one happens,
I think that's
It
the only one,
happens.
because all the other removal spells don't let you surgical. Well, he might have a blast. He can draw also a blast.
yeah, Red Elemental Blast also wins him the game. It's
Blast.
so good.
Could kill the Tassa, and then you can surgical it.
Yeah.
But he has a lot of draws. He has the blast. He has the dress
He has
downs.
like potentially 4 7, 9. If we include like cantrips, he has like
Yeah.
15 to 20 good cards.
But I think he's being put on the spot here because
Yeah.
I think when you're in Julius' position, you just go for a pile that,
He's called Johannes.
or Johannes, you just go for a pile that wins next turn,
Yeah.
and you force your opponent to use the surgically to buy himself a little bit more time, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It's
And that's what you basically, the Jeskai control player has one draw step, naturally, to find anything that can get paired with surgical quite nicely. Otherwise, you just have to use it, I think.
yeah. So, will be interesting. Will be interesting. Okay, I think we already heard that maybe one with 4-1-1 will not be in the top 8.
Okay.
So will be interesting. And thank you, Wizards BR MTG, for following the channel.
Very nice.
And yeah, I think we saw a few days. And Sven Proud, thank you for following the channel. Quicker than my shadow. As how's it called?
Is this like your nickname?
No, it's the cowboy, the Luke.
Yeah. I like a look.
Lucky
Yeah.
Luke.
I don't know if
we have
anybody knows this.
3, 4. Okay, we have no time.
Yes, there are 6 rounds.
It's 6 rounds, so it's the last round. I think there is one force of will in the hand. No force of will. And the single days is away. So we have potentially the win in Combat Stellar Pup, killing off a Thassa's Oracle into exiling Thassa's Oracle.
Don't get too excited. I think
I am
this is
so
very
fucking
unlikely.
excited. It's so rare because
Yeah.
it's like 2 out of 60 cards that he can draw. Into
Well, not 60 anymore.
into yeah, he's not playing Yorin. Like 2 out of 40 cards that he can draw.
Something like this, yeah.
Then it's like a third chance that he rolls the damage.
Yeah.
Fetch, increase your odds. Increase your odds. Or he has another out with Stellar Pup, like rolling a 6, rolling aggro, rolling a 6, rolling aggro, rolling a 6, rolling aggro.
Yeah.
Or whatever he rolls a 6. If once it's damage, it's done. It's so random. I love it.
What about if Julius anticipates this and puts some extra win con in, like another shield red in there?
and his extra deck is like Cavern of Soul, Shield Red,
Yeah.
Shield Red, Shield Red. Then it gets
Actually-
called for cheating because he's only playing 2 in his deck list. And he can't put it in because the one got exiled with Swords of Plowshares.
Yeah. So what do
Okay,
we
no.
see?
No Comet Stellar Pup, but maybe a Dress Down.
So I think he has to use the surgical at some point now during this turn, I think. Okay.
Okay.
In this case, not if Julius just passes the turn.
It's Brainstorm. Brainstorm.
I'm very surprised by that. Don't you have a pile when you have 3 mana up?
There
Just
has
ends.
to be a pile here. I think he wanted to be sure to play around Surgical because he can't go into the graveyard.
Yeah.
But in theory you are playing 3 Street Rave and how is it called?
Edge of Autumn.
And 2 Edge of Autumn, so you have 5 cyclers potentially that you can put in. So I think there should have been like, in worst case it's like a triple cycle pile or something like that. Because like
We'll
you
see.
play around single remove spell and stuff like that.
Is there a Pyroblast?
And
I think
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
there's a Pyroblast.
please see the line.
This would be a very, very nice line.
No. As in in those 2 cards there is a surgical. In those 2 cards there's the surgical.
It just has to have the Pyroblast and the surgical.
Pyro
And of course, the opponent doesn't have, might have, there are no forces, right, in the pile. We have confirmed this.
yeah, in theory there can be a force of negation, but you can play around this one in the upkeep. You no.
There's a Teferi. Okay, when there's a
No,
Teferi.
he draws but please don't bounce the fastest Oracle.
We'll see. Okay. consider
in response.
Pyroblast. Pyroblast you consider, or the Thassa's
Yeah.
Oracle?
I think. Okay.
Probably, yes.
I think this is the game 1 now. Unfortunately,
Just pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
he's
Well,
just too much in the zone, most likely.
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately for Juda.
But it's still not done. There could still be the possibilities
he top
of
decks
dress
another.
down or whatever.
Is this a force of will?
Yeah, it is a force of will.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, he kind of has to see, like, bouncing something or just drawing a card. Just drawing a card, bouncing nothing. Or does he bounce the...
No.
No, there's only one card left in Julius.
There's a street wave, okay. Destroying. And then there's just one card in the deck, right?
Yeah. So there's...
Or maybe two.
Yeah, force of will and surgical. Yeah. Unfortunately, he didn't see it. It's something that he may face palms himself in the near future. I mean, sometimes you're just in the zone.
Yeah. It's very difficult to play with and against Doomsday, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And maybe he even thinks there is only one Fusser. He doesn't have any win condition.
Two Thassa's Oracle in Turbo List are pretty standard
Yeah.
now today.
But if I don't know the differences between Turbo and Slow Doomsday and stuff like that, I know, okay, they play Personal Tutor, Baleful Strix. This is also my knowledge about the differences between Turbo and
It's basically Baleful Strix
and
as
Personal
opposed
Tutor.
to Personal Tutor, basically. Because this is the cards that none other deck plays.
Yeah, I will talk to him.
I mean, maybe there is also some kind of lines that we didn't think about that he
We will
was playing
all get
around.
schooled because he wins now the game.
Oh, really?
I'm sure.
Thoughts. There's is this a Thassa? Yeah,
And-
second
and-
Thassa. Does
and
he have another?
If he has another force of will and a Swords of Plowshares, he wins the game. But I don't think he has it.
Okay, that's it.
Okay.
Doomsday wins.
So Doomsday, Johannes, Julius, Pehlgrimm
Yeah.
advances to the top 8. Juda, Frantisek, unfortunately, falls out of the top 8
Pretty much,
contention. And
That's a pity because I liked having some comets in the top 8.
Comet Stellar Pup in the top 8 would be really, really cool.
But probably
Maybe we
some-
see another top 8 list.
another top 8, and there's for sure a nice Doomsday deck.
And what you can be sure of is, like, we are casting 3 rounds after this one.
Yeah.
We will have the quarterfinals, we have the semifinals, and the finals coming now to you. About the quarterfinals, we will pick a matchup that we like, that
Yeah.
we want to see. We have to talk to the organizers of the event, which is 3v1. If it's open decklist for top 8 or not, because I'm not sure about this one.
I'm also not sure.
So I'm not listening to this because I'm so rarely in the top 8, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, see you in a bit. We will come back to the stream in like 20 minutes or something like that
Yeah.
when the round is concluded, and we will start with the top 8 bracket. And we may even find out how many percent Delva is here, because I believe it's 30%. So yeah, and losing this match, something like this, because you didn't know the line, is feels bad, man.
Yeah.
So see you.